Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, November 3rd. We are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And interesting day, again. We gap higher. We hold the gap. And I forgot to fix the chart before I went on my video. We have a bad tick. The low in the SPY is 330, 317. They have it at 330 and change. The gap holds. We had a chance for a trend day up. That failed. We did incredibly fill this 460-point gap in B period, but that's all they wanted to do. We barely got above B after that. We have a poor high in D and E. M period looked like we might go out with a price probe, only to reverse and really flush hard, and N continues that. No surprise. I think this is just a matter. I don't think we could read too much into M and N period right now because obviously we have the election tonight. So I think it's just a matter of longs and shorts just fighting all over to get out of positions, established positions, you name it. I is an afternoon pullback low. I will use it. Doesn't matter what N did. We only end 8 wide. Now, quickly, the triple Qs end up holding their trend day. They hold their single prints in B. They have 10 wide, and they don't have a poor high. So, as far as I'm concerned, my trades today, weird day for me today. I made money on 4 to 6 trades and actually lost small in the day. And it's just really poor on my part. I called the market well after B period. I'll be the first to admit, told the room I did not expect that gap to fill. That's where I got hurt. Although I got out of it before this really ripped higher, but I still got hurt. Should have gotten it all back and more because I told the room, well, this market's just getting too long here and they're not getting much for it. E takes out D, and look what happens here. D, F, G flushes out, and I basically watched it the whole way. And then called the very nice afternoon pullback low and didn't get on board with the size I should have. So let's go over what I did. A period started. I didn't do anything right away. I was looking to, I thought they would front run the overnight high. So I took a short right before that, got through it, added to the position in A period. Once B opened, took out A's high. It stayed there for a little bit, but then once it never came back in, took it off, had a loss on the trade, and just watched B rip. Didn't do anything, didn't get long, but I certainly didn't try to short it again. Where I should have taken the short, though, initially, 2 places. B's high, because once it got the gap, that's all it did, and it actually came off pretty good. And then when C opened and couldn't take out B's high, again, it didn't fill the single prints, but it came in pretty good. So shame on me. Again, what I say is, now we didn't fill the single prints and we did take out B's high, but I should have taken that short in B because all they wanted to do was fill that gap, and then we came in pretty hard. And then in D period, yes, we made a new high, but I'm telling you, we made a new high and came in pretty hard. E period went up, poor high, and then again, even if I didn't take any of those trades, I was telling the room, if buyers don't get what they want sooner rather than later, everybody who's long in B, C, D, and E are going to give it up. So when he took out D's low, again, it was a mental thing. It's not me not reading the market right. It's not, just didn't take it. That trade should have been taken. Didn't matter what size. Even if it was 20 puts, 100 puts, that trade should have been taken, and nothing told me to get out of that trade for the remainder of E, F, G, H, I. Nothing. So shame on me. I did get on board with the short. Actually, I got on board. Before I get to that, I did take a long. I did take a long play. We had poor structure, which worked out in D period. And then I actually took a short in D period against B's high, but didn't hold it. But that's okay. Came in, I made some money back. Didn't do anything in E. I did take a short in I. Finally, I took a short in I to see us fill the singles, but it wasn't nearly enough. Then I took an I and long, which took a long and I and long. You hear me? A long and I, because I thought once the singles filled, I got out of The put play, I thought for an afternoon pullback, I was hoping it held B's low. It didn't. I got out for another loss. And then, like a fool, when J opened and didn't take out eyes low, it started sitting here. And I'm telling the room, this is decent trade location. Because if we don't go down and take out eyes low and we hold B's low, I think eventually we're going to stop the one-time framing down. What did I do? I watched it. I actually watched it. I could have a couple times could have bought size calls and finally I did get on board in K, but only on 30. So in J period I was looking to buy 2 lots. I could have bought 100 lots, didn't. In K period I finally get on board, but only with 30. Runs up. I took them off when we got right to J's high. So I got some back, but overall on the day I lost. And I called the day pretty much right. Yes, I was wrong on this filling the gap. I was shocked we filled that 460-point gap like that in A and B. Absolutely. However, I was certainly right on the longs not getting much, and I was right on once the longs got out and the shorts didn't get much in I and J of going back up. We'll get them tomorrow. I'll give myself an F on. I mean, the money's not the big thing. I didn't lose a lot of money today. But I'm giving myself an F for not taking that trade in E and for not taking the long with the size I wanted to in I and or, not in I, I'm sorry, in J and or K. Destinations for tomorrow. Today's high is a poor high, 338.25. Now, again, because we have wide destinations, these algos are searching. Well, not only are they still wide, now we have an election to deal with. So we closed at 335.92. My first destination on the upside is almost $3 higher. I'm sorry, 2 1/4 higher. 338.25, which is a poor high. Then we have 339.02, 11 wide from October 27th. Then we have 340.12, daily high. Then from the 26th, remember we had that double distribution day. Never filled it. We have single prints. 2 sets of them. 340.13 get filled at 341.52, B's low. And then we have 341.60 get filled at 75. And then we have 342.98, which is a weekly high, and filling the gap at 343.13, 15-point gap. And then we have 345.99 daily high and 346.88 daily high. I'm giving you a lot of destinations because of what we have coming for the next 3 days with the election, the Fed, and the job numbers. So please write these down. For the downside, again, we closed at 330. Well, now they have us closed at 336.03. First downside destination is over $1 away. Afternoon pullback low. We were only 8 wide here. 9 wide and N doesn't count for me. So eyes low of 334.84. Then we don't have anything to today's low. 330. Why did I write 331? 333.17. I'm sorry. Today's low and filling the gap at 332.26. 91-point gap to yesterday's high. Below that, we don't have anything to yesterday's low. Poor low, 327.24. So we have a poor low yesterday, poor high today. Would you be surprised, at least in the overnight, that both get taken out? I wouldn't. And then below that, we have 325.03, 9 wide, and then 322.60 monthly low. So there's a lot of destinations I just gave you there. We'll see what ones get hit, which do not get hit. Now, let's go to the charts. Monthly. We have an inside month, folks. Nothing. We're still in balance. Now, a key level also is February's high. It took a while for us to get above February's high of 339.08. We got to 338.25 today. We got to within 84 cents of it, or 83 cents. Couldn't take it out. So we're in a 3-month balance, and today, and the last 2 days. So it's still 3. But this is important. Obviously, we can't take out last month's high until we get acceptance above February's high. So if we get acceptance above February's high, we can start marching towards 354.02 and try to come out of an inside month to the upside. On the flip side, if we can't get acceptance above February's high, then maybe we are going to test last month's low of 322.60. And if we come out of that to the downside, well, we know what's going to happen. That 319.80 level and all those weekly lows are going to be major targets. And if those don't hold, we could see 3,000 rather quickly. That's the monthly. Weekly. One time framing down 2 weeks. 2 days in, we have an inside week. Are we going to have an inside week? I'm going to say I probably doubt it. But it's still, after 342.98 is last week's high and 322.60 is last week's low and the monthly low. Then we have that monthly low. Then we have these 2 weekly lows. This is still incredibly key for me. If we take out the monthly low, inside month down, if we do not hold this 319 level, again, there's not a lot here. You'll be accepted into here. And then again, I talked about this last week, 302.50 is going to be on the radar big time. So keep that in mind. And then on the daily, again, this is wrong. The low is 333.17. It looks like the gap's closed. The gap is not closed. In fact, I'll change it while we're talking. We are up on the daily. 333.17 is the low. Let's save that. There you go. Save it. Save as. 333.17 is the low. So we have up in the daily, above the 4-day balance. The next target, since we filled the gap, is the 50-day moving average. Never got there today. So it's right around 339.50, we'll call it. A lot's going to depend on what happens tonight. Again, I think the market will breathe a sigh of relief if there's a clear winner. If not, that's I think when things get dicey. If you don't trade Globex and you're new trading, don't trade Globex tonight. Because if it's in weekend traders usually, think about what it's going to be in tonight. Don't go and blow yourself up. The volatility is going to probably be pretty extreme, and the liquidity is going to stink. At least when we get volatility during regular trading hours, there's volume. Now, I'm sure there'll be volume tonight, but the liquidity is going to stink. They're going to be spreading these things tremendously. So if you don't trade it, don't. And if you do trade it on a regular basis, just be careful. Good luck trading tonight. Stay safe. And we will speak prior to the opening tomorrow.